Yo, what's up, y'all? I'm gonna give y'all 5 quick tips to start being more direct with the people in your life, is probably what the you thought I was gonna say. First off, I wanna clear something up. Being indirect is not always a weakness. Matter of fact, there are some strengths that lie in being indirect. Sometimes always asking hard hitting questions is exhausting. Matter of fact, I'd argue that in a networking scenario or in making relationships, oftentimes indirect people have an advantage. They avoid those questions and conversations that steer people or make people uncomfortable. But the problem is, you watch all these videos about things to say to start conversations, how to talk to anybody, as if you don't know how to speak. Close your eyes. Imagine you were at a club. You walk in and you see the person of your dreams, guy or girl, whatever you are, and ask yourself, what do you want to say? Oh, you're beautiful. I love your eyes. You have things to say, but what happens is because whether it's past experiences that you've had, whether it's because it's easier, there arises this tension that happens in regular conversations. Whenever you say something that's a little weird or out of the box, something someone doesn't agree with, and you arise this tension where it's like, uh-oh, this is a moment. And for a lot of people that are indirect, what happens is you create this habit of disengaging during those moments. You disengage and you go one of two places. Either you disengage and turn quiet and then you go with your assumptions as to why that moment went the way it did, or you disengage and redirect the conversation to something a little more comfortable and a little more easy for you to talk about. But the problem is it becomes a habit. And as this habit develops and manifests and we keep disengaging and disengaging, is going back to what I said, you know what to say, but you make a habit of just not saying it. And so you avoid these conversations that are deep and that matter. And the problem with that is this. What do you think happens when all those important conversations, those little moments that you want to have, go unspoken, right? You know you want to have the conversation. You know you want to say it to the person, but whether it's uncomfortable or it's just more difficult than not having it, you're not having the conversation. And what happens is this internal division where the person that you want to be versus the person that you're showing up as they get further and further and further apart, it begins to arise this division in us because you know you're not being the person that you want to be. And as you begin to feel more and more trapped in that, what happens? Well, if I don't know the person, I'm not able to be the person that I want to be. How do we grow? You don't grow just through existing. You grow through taking intentional choices. If I want to be better at fixing cars, I'm going to go fix cars, right? I don't just fall asleep, wake up, and I'm like, yo, I know how to use that wrench. No, you got to go put that elbow grease on it. And to that point, if you're not showing up as the person that you want to be and you're not putting in reps to develop that person, you don't grow. It stagnates or hinders your growth into the people we want to be. So now you're not the people, your person that you want to be. You're not showing up as your authentic self. What is the basis of a relationship? Some would say trust. I personally would say it's authenticity. Some people aren't going to like you, and that's okay. But in order to be loved, some people aren't going to like you. That's the nature of being polarizing. And so, as people that we are, when you're not able to be yourself, you begin to develop inauthentic relationships that aren't really you. So now you're not able to be yourself, which doesn't allow you to grow. And the relationships in your life begin to not become as honest and authentic as you want. And what does that ultimately do is it cause you to create misunderstandings. You don't understand why this person is acting this way. You don't understand or can't convey correctly how you feel about this person or this scenario. And again, it's not fully your fault. These are habits that are taught over trauma and bad experiences. And by nature, the fact that you communicate so much and are so aware, you're naturally going to start to think in your mind that some conversations can go right and some conversations can go wrong. And in order to fix your indirectness, what you first have to understand is that it's not about being right or wrong, but it's about understanding. When you're talking and when you're speaking in communication, you can speak to understand or be right, but not both at the same time. What you need to understand is that you have to trust in your intention. We can look at how people perceive what we say, but we can't control that. And if we can't control it, it's no point in focusing on it. But what can we control is intent. And if your intent is to be understood, what it does is it takes conversations from a chance to be right or wrong, but it just takes them to a chance to understand or be understood. And when you're understanding, you're trying to be understood, there are no wrong questions, wrong statements. And what it does is it frees you again to be yourself. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to mess up because all you were trying to do was understand. And I want you to also think about this when you are wrong, because you're going to be wrong sometimes. I'm direct and it's uncomfortable what I say sometimes. And oftentimes I miss the mark with what I say and I got to clean it up. But guess what I trust? I don't trust in my ability to always be right. I trust in my ability to handle the consequences when I'm wrong. It's a conversation. Your life's not going to end. It's just words. We're not fighting out here. And what it does is you have to understand it is so much easier to live with embarrassment than regret. Because think about it. Do I get mad at myself? I was 4 years old in 2008. Oh, I should have bought a house. No, I did the best I could with the information that I had. I don't beat up 4-year-old Austin, so don't beat yourself up. Give yourself some grace and stop watching videos for trying to figure out what to say because you know what to say. You just have to give yourself the freedom to say it. So that's how you have those tough conversations. I hope that helps. I'm a direct person myself, but we all feel scared. We all feel uncomfortable, but we all have to speak. Peace out, y'all, boys.